one down and close out the day.
Well, we can definitely teach our old wolf Trevor some new tricks, because he said that airwax would probably be a little bit unimpressive.
Yeah?
And well, and Svenskeren wouldn't really need his backpack, but it actually caught us all off guard, to be honest.
I think that's very fair, and I think I deserve to take that one right on the chin. I completely undersold Copenhagen Wolves. I completely overpraised SK, at least in this one game. It's the opening game of the splits. I said that Airwax was going to be a weak link and whatnot, and he comes out and goes massive. He had a huge impact in the game. He was all over the place. He was in every single lane. The questions that we had for SK, how are they going to perform? What were they going to do? I mean, it wasn't a great showing, I think, from everybody. Svenskeren ran Lee Sin. You know, it's the champion that got him the backpack at Worlds and playoffs, rather. And
yeah,
it didn't show up. So all praise to Copenhagen Wolves, and I'm sorry for selling a guy short.
I mean, I guess to summarize a lot of points there, I think to put it into one kind of short thing, the old SK didn't work in the new European meta. In that game, in their first outing, I think that's fair to say. And one of the biggest things that contrasts this SK from the previous SK was what we showed at the beginning of the show. We showed the graphs to show at 15 minutes what was the gold lead or gold deficit. In this one game from SK Gaming, they were down 3,500 gold. And when you compare that to the former SK for Spring Split, they were up on average 1,000 gold. Yes, it's only one game, but if that is a sign of what's to come, it's an incredibly different lineup and an incredibly different feel.
Yeah, definitely something to work on for them. And then on the side of the Copenhagen Wolves, we were asking the question before, then Freeze, although he sets those low expectations, he must have a lot of trust in the entourage and everything there. And it does seem, kind of when we say about H2K, they're going to refine the way they play, it does seem like the Copenhagen Wolves have pulled the card of, you know what, we're going to go and try and refine what we can do and try and do it better, with Airwax now picking that Evelyn, who has been gaining popularity, and we've heard from Amazing Why, with the Azir coming out for Soren, which is actually a perfect fit. So it's nice to see those adaptations.
Yeah, there was a lot that worked for Copenhagen Wolves, certainly from the picks and bans. They even first picked Eve. I mean, not a lot of teams would even think of doing that, but obviously they wanted to hide the Draven for later. We know Freeze's Draven, that's been talked about all day. Copenhagen Wolves just looked very comfortable the entire game, and again, picks and bans. You touched on the Lee Sin from Svenskeren. Eve gets locked in first. Sven is their answer on Lee Sin to it, and he's 0-0-0 up until 16.5 minutes. That is completely past Lee Sin's point at which you would normally pick him for. If you don't have that impact early game, if you can't control Eve in the early game, you're not going to be able to control her later on.
I completely agree. One of the other things that really does stand out, Copenhagen Wolves, they're good pick and bans, good early game, good mid game, but the way they finish the game is better than they've done all year long. Yep. Copenhagen Wolves were notorious for dragging games out, giving opponents chances to get back in there, because they simply had no idea how to knock down the Nexus. This time around, they get the Baron fight they want, they get the Baron, they push the base in, and they cleaned house, really. And it was very impressive. It is one game, it is the opening match. You know, they've got their sea legs, SK do not. And we just need to see where do things shake up and how do they balance it out. Crepo said, quite honestly, you know, week 3, week 4 is when we start having the actual power levels really standardizing and showing through.
Yeah, but will be lessons to be drawn from that one for SK Gaming. Now, looking at the league overall, we're just one day into the summer split, and Dexter is already making a splash in his return to the pro scene. 9 kills, no deaths, and 11 assists. He is our leader in the Fantasy League today. Our Fantasy leader, rather, racking up over 37 points. We had him on the desk here as well. He was flying all over the map, and he just felt in the zone, and it definitely showed up.
That Baron steal was so good.
Yeah, right.
I'm sad he's not on my fantasy team.
Well, I mean, your fantasy team is the best fantasy team on PTL's, you know, fantasy league. I can never remember the full league name of it.
Primetime League, League of Legends, Fantasy League.
Okay.
PTL FL4.
PTL FL4, you've got the best
team.
And
the only reason Stress is saying that is because he drafted for me while I was on vacation. But I must admit, I'm stoked. You got me Huni. I call my team the Hollow Rangers Argo. He got me like 20-odd points. Rainover got me 26. Hyanen's on there as well. So I think I'm in a good spot. The only thing is, I'm fighting Mark Merrill. So like, I'm in this torn decision.
Don't beat him.
Do I throw at the end and say employed, or do I beat him and run the risk?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, is MSI, we already proved that EU over NA. So what we had to do was, rather than send our LCS caster, we just put the challenger guys there, and we'll still beat them. We'll still beat them on the
I'm going to stop you right there. You're getting into dangerous waters, the young Padawan. There's still time to form a League of Legends league of your own, by the way, so get your draft on for a 2015 summer split if you haven't already. Head over to fantasy.lolesports.com for more information and to select your perfect team. Now, throughout the day, you folks at home were calling out all the action. Some big plays, but we selected this one from @CallMeMabi, right? Reckless may be back on Fnatic, but this is still the Huni show. His Gnar ults are insane. Here is your LCS big play of the day.
We'll see whether or not that Maokai is enough frontline. Now Featherfin's joined the fight. Hylissang, I think, flashed forward for that one. Instant QSF from Reckless, but the massive Gnar against the wall. Fnatic have just won the team fight thanks to Huni. 4 members of Unicorns of Love are down. Yeah, the Huni pot is still very sweet if you're a Fnatic fan. And the thing is, it's so great to see the growth because Huni on Gnar in the spring split was average at best. He didn't hit a single wall when he used Gnar. MSI was a marked improvement, and that game was just phenomenal.
Absolutely, and Fnatic just looking more scary than they already have, which was something that was hard to imagine at the end of last split, but it is happening. And with day one of the summer split behind us, let's take a look at how the teams stack up. As said, standing tall with 1 win apiece are the Copenhagen Wolves, Elements, Fnatic, H2K, and Origen, and everyone else is a game back at 0-1. A lot of things we had expected, I would say. Fnatic, H2K in this one, even Origen after day one, getting that win versus Giants, with the Copenhagen Wolves at the top of the table and the rest at the bottom. And Elements at the top, which is good for the fans and actually a very good showing for them, a good leg to stand on. Anything else in the standings that particularly caught you off guard?
I think I don't want to take the wind out of anybody's sails, any team sails, but week 1 of Spring Split, we had some teams that picked up wins, and they ended up bottom half of the table. It's so still all to play for now. So lots of strong performances, but let's not start cashing in world's trips yet.
Giants went 2-0 and then obviously really stumbled once their magic ingredients were removed. But I think you hit the nail on the head, Sharks. Copenhagen Wolves beating SK in the manner they did.
Right.
That, to me, is one of the loudest statements that we've seen all day.
Yep. And they're at the top of the tables, at least for now. And those standings are bound to change tomorrow as the week continues with a clash between Origen and H2K. Then we'll have the summer split. First, El Clasico as Fnatic takes on SK Gaming. And we'll wrap up the week with Elements versus the Unicorns of Love. Elements versus the Unicorns of Love. Fantastic. And El Clasico, which, well, sadly now, or actually SK Gaming really will have something to prove and really show if they want to show up in the first 2 days of LCS that they can show something.
Yeah, SK are going to have to bring it. They are going to have to bring the absolute best game they've got to take on this Fnatic squad. That is going to be a great game. I'm actually really looking forward to the H2K Origin game as well, because that's last season's best Challenger team against the team that just came from Challenger and auto-qualified. So that's an interesting game too.
I can't pick one out. I want to see every single team.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like there was a lot of pick and ban trends that happened throughout most of the games today, and I'm interested to see if they continue. I also want to see where Rek'Sai and Ashe continue to play, because I feel like those are 2 champions that are very contested that I wasn't actually expecting coming into the week. So we'll see if that continues in day 2.
Yep, we'll see tomorrow indeed. And the games will start tomorrow, Friday, at 6 p.m. Central European Time. That is 9 a.m. Pacific. Now, until then, we must bid farewell. On behalf of myself, Stress, QuickShot, and the rest of the LCS team, thank you so much for joining us for the start of the summer split. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow.